Weight loss is hard. Weight loss is hard. Do not let these internet streets make it seem like it's easy, because that is by far the hardest thing I've ever done. And I've done a lot of hard things, okay? I run an online business. I got a bachelor's degree. I worked at a 9 to 5 that I hated for 6 years. Like, I've overcome alcohol abuse. I've done a lot of hard things. A lot of hard things, but out of everything that I did that is classified as hard, losing weight, the hardest thing ever. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Jasmine. In this video, I want to share with you guys why weight loss was the hardest thing I ever did. And for any of you guys who have lost any amount of weight, in case you didn't know, I lost 100 pounds, okay? And I just did that through, now I don't want to say just did it through because that's hard, but I did that through eating less and moving more. I didn't do any surgeries, Ozempics, none of that, okay? And the reason why weight loss is so hard is because you have to keep showing up even if that scale doesn't move. We have like this, what's the word I'm looking for? We have like, we become a slave to the scale. And whatever that number says on the scale can either make us feel good about ourselves or make us feel really, really shitty about ourselves, right? And when you're on a weight loss journey, obviously it's because you want to lose weight. You recognize that you might not be a healthy weight. Maybe you don't like the way you look in the mirror. You want to lose weight. And the only thing that's going to validate your efforts is that damn scale. But if you've lost any amount of weight, especially if you were extremely overweight like how I was, or obese, when you first start a weight loss journey at the size I was 340 pounds, by the way, I am 6'3". You lose weight pretty quickly at first, because just the smallest changes can allow you to drop 10 pounds in a week, right? And that's because in order to be a really big size like how I was, I have to eat a certain number of calories to maintain that size, okay? So that's why anytime you cut out just a couple of things, you're gonna start to lose weight. So weight loss is very quick at first, right? 5 pounds, 10 pounds, and you didn't even have to change up too much. But as you keep going on that weight loss path, eventually, within a month or two, that speed is going to decrease because now you're no longer just losing water. Now you're tapping into fat and fat takes way longer to burn. But despite what the scale says, you still have to show up. You could have a week where you did everything right. You worked out, you ate clean. You didn't even have a cheat meal, right? And you get on that scale and you lost a half a pound. In your head, you're like, dang, I still gotta lose 70 something more pounds. Like, this is gonna take forever. But still having to show up regardless, that is hard. That is hard. And that's why weight loss was the hardest thing I ever did, because it really taught me delayed gratification. It taught me the power of consistency, and it taught me the power of patience. It also forced me to detach myself from the outcome. And I even was able to apply this in my coaching business, because you get so fixated. Like I said, we may have a goal weight, or maybe we have a pair of jeans that we haven't been able to fit into in a very long time, right? And so you want it so bad, like you want to feel good in your skin again. You want to get on the scale and feel amazing about the number that you see. You want it so badly, but you are too attached to the outcome. And instead, you keep hyper fixating on this number, or on this pair of jeans, this dress, this vacation. And it's toxic. It is toxic, like constantly being fixated on it. And you feel as though it's not working, but then you still have to show up. That's why it's so hard. But you have to detach yourself, and you have to understand that even if the scale doesn't say what you want it to say today, even if it doesn't say what you want to say next month, you know that if you stay in your caloric deficit, you know that if you keep getting your steps in or lifting weights, you know that if you stop using food for anxiety, depression, whatever emotion you are struggling with, you know that you will eventually get to that size, that weight, whatever the goal is for you, you know you'll eventually get there. That's delayed gratification. But you have to let go of the outcome, because I know I've said this in another video, whatever timeline you expect to reach your goal, go ahead and 4x it or 10x it. Shit, sometimes you got 20x it, because you've underestimated the amount of time that it actually takes to get it done. So it took me 18 months, roughly, yeah, about 18 to 19 months to lose 100 pounds, right? And that's, if you think about it overall, that's pretty good. But in those moments, like, it felt like it took forever. That's a whole year and a half. That's a whole year and a half. So during that time, it felt like it was taking forever, right? But even when I did lose the 100 pounds, my body still wasn't what I was going for. I then had to bulk, because I was very, very, very slim at that point. Like or lean. I was very lean, right? But I wanted muscle definition. So then I had to bulk, meaning I had to eat more food and purposely put on weight while I lift heavy weight to build muscle mass. And then you're going to put on about 30 pounds. So then I gained. So I had lost 100, but then gained 30. So now I'm only negative 70, right? But then I have to lose the fat again. And because I was a smaller size trying to lose 30 pounds than when I was 340 pounds, that's slower. That's slower because I'm not too far off from the goal, right? And so it was I did multiple bulk cycles to finally get the definition that I've been wanting for years. So here we are 4 years in, and I'm finally starting to love the way my body looks. I'm loving the definition. I'm loving the leanness, right? But that's because I had to gain delayed gratification. I had to accept it. I had to detach myself from the outcome. I couldn't keep obsessing over the goal body the dream body that I always wanted. I had to just trust the process. I had to remind myself regularly, daily, just keep getting them steps in. Just keep eating clean. Just keep doing this. Just keep lifting weights. Just keep showing up. That's hard. And unfortunately, most people can't do it. Not that they can't, they won't do it. Because we live in a society where everything just has to happen right now. Like, if you can't lose 100 pounds by tomorrow, then you don't want no parts, right? But notice how when you try to get things done quickly, all you do is just delay because you're constantly giving up. You're not really following through. You're going hard for a week and then you fall off for the next 6 months. You are literally just slowing yourself down. But if you just decide, you know what? I may not lose all the weight I want to lose tomorrow, but I know that if I keep showing up, eventually I'll get those results. Well, then it's going to be so much easier for you to get there mentally because you've already detached yourself from that outcome. You really have to believe in yourself in weight loss. And I didn't have self-belief when I first started. Okay. I mean, I had like a little bit of it because I was an entrepreneur, but my level of self-belief wasn't anything like it is today. But that's because I proved to myself that I can stick with something for years. For years before I finally get to the point where I'm loving the results. And now because I love the results, like I feel so much better in my body. Like I'm taking more pictures, I'm ordering more dresses. And when I'm looking at the footage in the camera, I'm like, wow, like I did that all this time it took, but we're here, we're present, we're in the moment, and this feels amazing. This feels amazing. Same with business. Like, let's say you've been posting your content, but no one's watching it. You're promoting your digital products, but no one's buying it. But you're still just showing up, just putting in the work. You just keep going, you just keep trying. When you finally do get to those days where you're doing $100 a day on average, 500 a day on average, 1,000 a day on average, like those moments, you're going to reflect back and be like, wow, imagine if I had stopped. I would never be here today enjoying all of the fruits of my hard labor. Weight loss is hard. It is hard. Weight loss is hard. And anyone who's lost any amount of weight, whether you lost 100 pounds, 50 pounds, 20 pounds, that's hard. And then not even just losing it, but keeping it off and then maintaining the weight loss. That's really hard. And also, too, you end up having to take on a new identity because in order to not yo-yo diet, which is what I used to do all the time, I used to yo-yo diet. So you would lose 20, gain 40, right? In order to keep it off, you have to accept the fact that you'll never be able to be that person that you used to be again. I'll never be able to be that woman who was eating fast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'll never be able to be that woman again who's drinking soda for every meal. I'll never be able to be that woman again who goes weeks without going on a walk. The only time I was walking is if I was going from the car to the store. Or from my apartment building to the garage. Like, those would be the only times I was moving. I can never be that woman again. I can never be that woman again who uses food to cope with her emotions. That woman no longer exists because those things, those habits that I had was exactly why I was 340 pounds, right? I had to completely change who I was, not just physically, but mentally, internally, emotionally, spiritually, so that I became a new person who knows how to cope with her emotions by sitting in her sadness and not trying to run from it, sitting in her frustration and not trying to run from it, right? I had to become a woman that no matter how busy life gets, we still got to eat most of our meals at home, period, point blank. I had to become the woman who, no matter what's going on in business or life, I still need to get those steps in. Just recently, I got thyroid surgery, and my surgeon approved it. She said after, once the anesthesia wears off, so about 24 to 48 hours later, I can go back walking. I can't lift right now. She said to hold off on lifting weights for like a week and a half. So I have a few more days and I can start going back to the gym to lift weights. But 24 hours after my surgery, I went walking for 30 minutes. It was a very slow pace. I felt fine. I wasn't dizzy or anything like that, but I could have easily just used my surgery as an excuse to not move, right? And then the next day, so now we're 48 hours post-op, I was back to my 20K steps. Like nothing stopped. And then 4 days after surgery, I was back to not only doing my 20K steps, but I'm doing my makeup every morning again. I forced myself to stay in my routines because I don't want to lose this version of me that I've become. And this version of me that I've become has new standards. I have new routines, new habits. And in order to maintain this version of me, I have to, as quickly as possible, get back to what I do, right? But again, the old version of me, if I had thyroid surgery 5 years ago, I would have taken the whole month off. I would have allowed myself a whole month to not move at all. I would have allowed myself a whole month, if not longer, to overeat because I'm trying to soothe myself from the pain of thyroid surgery, even though there's no pain, but you get the point I'm making is I would have just allowed the surgery to keep me stagnant, but I didn't do that. So, weight loss is hard. Anything you do is hard, but that's why I think losing weight was the hardest thing I ever did. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Are you on a weight loss journey? Is it hard? Am I tripping? Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.